everything works out. Honestly, I didn't even hook up the audio the way I normally would hook up the audio. Um, I don't know if I actually like that light in the back. I can stay there. Uh, we're just making some minor changes here today. You know what I'm saying? As we begin, welcome to the Dana Keith Show. This is the Dana Keith podcast called Network Your Made it official last week. I actually started this podcast originally 2 years ago, pretty much, which is kind of hilarious to see that something that you create 2 years ago finally goes live and actually starts to manifest into what you want. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Seeing that joint. Um, so here, you know what I'm saying? I got a special guest today. I'm just hopping back online. I know I'm a little tardy, so I just wanted to hop on and say what's up to the people. I got a really special guest today for this episode. I'm super excited to dive into that conversation. So that's going to be coming very soon. So if you're just getting on, what's up, y'all? What's up? Good morning, you motherfuckers. Even though it's at nighttime, good morning, you motherfuckers. What's up? What's up? What's up? Just had a quick little meeting. That was cool. And you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how life works, but you know what I'm saying? We just gonna keep going. That's kind of the name of the game, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? Just keep on chugging along. All right, so I got comments here. Let me check out my banners. Okay, all my banners are good. All right. And cool. All that set up. All right, if you're just hopping on live, I'm just getting set up. I'm a little bit behind, but I do have a special guest today. But drop some comments, drop some questions, whatever y'all wanna do. That'll be cool. You heard. I just got to make sure I get all this stuff set up before I get lost in the actual process here. So what's up? If y'all live, I see a couple people live on the Facebook. I see someone live on the YouTube. Appreciate y'all tapping in. How y'all doing on this Monday night? Y'all like Monday nights? You know what I'm saying? Is Monday nights cool? Late night Monday nights? Or should I do like Tuesdays? What y'all thinking? Let me know in the comments what y'all thinking when I should do this. But this is officially the Dana Keith Show. It is on Apple Podcast. It's on Spotify, YouTube on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? You can find it there as well. But if you're a podcast listener, type in your network, Dana Keith. And what you should find is that we are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're on all the podcast streaming platforms. And then the video versions are always on my YouTube, which is YouTube Dana Keith. And then beyond that, also, what's up? We got love from 808. All right, my brother just hopped on from the 808, and then my sister just hopped on from the, 319? I forget. You know what I'm saying? But what's up? I appreciate y'all showing love. You feel me? Shit. That is love, man. But yeah, so what was I saying? I'm kind of running behind today. I'm actually going to pull the mic off. It's going to be a little bit different. Y'all see this? I'm cutting up now. I got the mic on the go. I could do anything. This is my show. Oh yeah, what I do want to do is plug in that internet cord. Hang on, guys. Plug in this internet cord to see if this is going to help my live stream. You know what I'm saying? See if it helps my connectivity, because my connectivity says damn 1 bar. And 1 bar is trash, y'all. That's trash. We need more bars. Whitney better stop cutting up on here. She is funny. Oh my God. Whitney is the funniest person to ever work with. I love Whitney to death. Funny as hell. All right, let me pull this up. Make sure that because I gotta send my special guest her invite. Make sure I get that done before I start cutting up on here. But look, y'all, my game plan. I always say this, and this is my new platform or new template, y'all. I've been saying that I'm gonna start getting off at an hour, but it hasn't worked out like that. And the reason why I think it hasn't worked out like that is because I spend about 15-30 minutes just chopping it up with y'all, just hanging out, kind of reflecting on the week. I kind of like that. And at some point, our guest hops in, and then we just start the interview. You know what I'm saying? The episode just starts like that. I really think that that's how this shit gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So it ends up, so far, the 2 episodes that I've done have ended up being like hour and a half. They're like 90 minutes. Just give y'all a heads up. If y'all want to hang out with us tonight, you know what I'm saying? That's probably what you should expect. You heard? And let me go and get this invite sent out, like I keep saying. Cause I'm gonna make sure I do this. Here you go. I got a special guest tonight, y'all. Any guesses on who my special guest is? They are pretty cool. All right, let me send it here. Boom. And she ain't got iPhone, so it's probably the best way to send it to her. All right. I do got a special guest tonight. We are going to interview them, but let me just go ahead and recap over some things that I want to talk to y'all about, okay? First and foremost, I'm about 75% done with my book. It is going to be a ebook. It's 7 motivational tips of success. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you how to get to success yourself. I'm just inspiring you to get to success yourself by sharing tips of my own journey. So it's not like if you don't follow these tips, you can't be successful. But if you're interested, you know what I'm saying, in learning some of the main lessons that I learned over this last fucking 15 so 6 years. Over the last 6 years, I learned a lot. So I kind of want to share that with y'all. It's kind of my idea behind the whole ebook. It's about 75% done. I actually have my merch relaunch coming. I got some designs for that, so that's already done. Very excited. And then I also want to do a course. So like my course is actually to teach people, you know, that are interested in like video, kind of like what I do. And I'm literally, the only thing I'm going to teach you, I'm not going to teach you how to like fucking, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the right word is like be a professional videographer, because you could be a professional by the end of it. But I'm going to teach you my knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And I know you can make money off of it. So that's kind of how I'm pitching the course. So the course is going to be coming. That's in the works. I'm super excited about that. But mostly I'm just excited about being like at a certain phase of my life to where like I can do shit like this, like just hop on live and have fun. You know what I mean? That's pretty exciting to me. But I did make some cool content. I'm putting out some more vlogs. I keep trying to get hold on, let me just take a break. I'll be right back. Give me like 10 seconds. I'll be right back. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? All right. I'm back. And what would you look at that? Hold up. My special guest in the building. I'm gonna introduce her in a second. She's actually on. I just got to throw her into the thing. I'm just getting some things rearranged in the office, and then we're gonna get cracking. All right, before we get cracking with our guest, y'all, if y'all online, because my guest is here, we about to get it cracking. If y'all got questions or anything y'all want us to answer, make sure y'all drop them in. But I got a special guest, so I'm about to move this desk and we're gonna get going. All right. So with that being said, look, y'all, I'm about to add my special guest up in the building. What's up? What's up? My special guest. What's going on?
You see Arlo back here?
I see Arlo in the back. I do. See, man, we got to get you hooked up with the mic so your mic all coming through good. Yeah. It's all right. We're gonna work it out. The audio isn't the best.
I was supposed to be all prepared like that, Danny Keith.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to,
You
you know
told
what
me to
I'm
get
saying?
on your webcam, and that was it. That's what I did.
Yeah. But you have a whole system. You know, I'm using the same system that you have, right? Oh,
So what?
hey, we just throwing it out there. And you know what I'm saying?
What are you doing it through the podcast system or what?
Yeah, I do it through the podcast joint and then take it to StreamYard. So that's kind of like how I'm doing it. But StreamYard is the key. But even like your hold on, I'm about to see if this is going on the live joints. I just want to see what it looks like. Because on my end you're just a little blurry too. So like audio is it's going to be all right. You want to see if your phone is better cuz your phone is good. Hold on. My live is catching up so I can see the live playback. Yeah, it's still blurry on there. Here, why don't we hop off? Let's just do your phone because I think the Mac might be messing up. I think the phone might be better.
Okay.
Let's try it. So, you could use the same link. Just use the same link, okay?
All right.
All right, I'll see you back. All right, y'all. That is my special guest. Look, y'all, I'm so hyped. My special guest is Leah Flores. She's about to hop on with us through her phone, and we're gonna get into this story because I want to talk to her a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, what we got going on. But we do have another podcast, which is her podcast that we actually co-hosted together for quite some time, and I thought that was super dope. But we're gonna get into that a little bit. But I actually got a whole nother thing that I would like to do with Leah, which is basically like interview her about a couple different things. So we'll see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So instead of doing that, let's do this. Let's add her to the stream.
I'm gonna turn this up. I'm trying to get my little phone holder here.
Okay. Yeah, see the video is already better. And
It's
the audio,
better?
yeah, and the audio we can deal with. We can deal with that.
Except I can barely hear you now. Should I put on some like AirPods or something?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is my a couple times, you know what I'm saying? We still in the trial phases. I gotta figure out like what I should tell the other side.
Yep, that's true. You gotta figure this out ahead of time. I'm your guest, Dana. You gotta be telling me what to do.
You know what? You actually are hilarious because you have a camera and a microphone system. So like you could have the best quality. There you go. What's up, Lee in the building?
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn this one. I wonder if it's gonna be a lag.
What?
If I turn this one up.
Like the what?
If I turn up the computer just to hear the audio, but turn this one down.
Oh, that'll probably be too much. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Let me see if I can. I just don't want to remove you from the thing. I just want to remove this other one. But
yes,
it's all right.
Working. I'm about to get my hold on, I'm about to get my little, I want to be fancy with the AirPods too, the things, because you're all fancy right now.
All right, go ahead, get set up. So if you listening to this live, if you're on the audio version, or if you just literally rocking with us, you know what I'm saying? You can see that we are in the trial phases. We're trying to figure out how can we get the best audio on the other side, as well as the same time as you know what I'm saying, good video, so that we can have a good production here. Cause I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the book. I appreciate the love. That's family. I appreciate that. How you think audio coming in good with the headphones? All right, while you do that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be doing my thing over here. I got some prepping to do anyway, so it works out for the both of us. Look at Leah with the holiday spirit, though. They love the holiday spirit, Leah.
You guys ain't gonna have it. I gotta have it.
I know that's right. Shit, in my house, you won't even find no Christmas shit yet. You feel me? That's why we go to Leah house, just so everybody know. That's why we go to Leah house. Leah, what's going on?
No, this doesn't work. I'm just gonna do it this way.
All right, you just gonna rock with this?
Yeah, look, you done messed up my hair and everything, Dana Keith.
I know. Well, the whole world is watching. You feel me?
While the whole world is, the whole 3 people are watching.
Hey, I got 8 people in the live, so don't be playing with me. You know what I'm saying? 8 people. Yeah, probably 3 of those people is your people.
Probably.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so let's hop into this. Let's do this proper because I'm very excited about this because you're very special to me. But let's introduce because I got special guests in the building on my podcast. This is called Network Your Network. It is on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that stuff.
Wait, so is this that's the name of your show?
Yeah, well, that's I actually created. So this is a cool story. I'll just go ahead and say it. Like I created a podcast in 2020. It was called Network Your Network. Basically, the idea behind it, and I interviewed 4 people in January 2020. The idea behind it was literally I wanted to interview people in my network that I can get in touch with, interview them, and kind of just build that way, just like within my network, right? And my concept, it really came from like inspiring other people to like network their network because we all have a network.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the idea from it. So I did 4 episodes in 2020 and then I never did it again because it was taking too much time and I wasn't even good at it yet. With that being said, oh, my bad. Everybody want me to take the hoodie off. It's all right. I'll say it in a minute. So the reason why I say that is because when I came back to this, like, and like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just tell you for real, like, I didn't know what I was doing when I came back to this. I just knew I wanted to have an outlet. You know what I mean? First, when I did, like, I was sharing about suicide. The young lady was talking about how she was actually molested and things. It just got way deeper than what I wanted it. I got an echo. But it was way deeper than what I expected. I still got an echo, yeah. Leah Flores. And then the next episode, obviously, you saw was Sid, my childhood friend, who was he is still my best friend, but like that shit went crazy, like naturally. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, I just thought to myself, well, damn, this is kind of like my first podcast. Why don't I put it on Apple or Spotify? And like literally, I just started uploading it. So if you go on
You
Apple,
still got an echo, Dana?
no, not no more. You're good. Echo is good. But nah, you did though. At any rate, this is on a podcast streaming platform is what I'm trying to tell people. So like if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can definitely find this podcast up there. And it'll be uploaded like tomorrow pretty much. Is how I've been doing it. Anyways, let's take a step back. Take a fucking step back. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the show. Are we gonna be able to get through this, Leah? Or are we just gonna have technical difficulties for the first hour? You still can't hear me?
I can hear you, but you sound muffled.
Well, my production is showing really good audio. Do you have headphones for your
how about you just deal with the blurry picture and that way I have better audio?
All right, that's fine. I mean, it's blurry either way.
I'm gonna enter it over here. Oh, what? Hello, I'm back.
We're gonna kick you from the studio.
All right. You have to deal with the blur because now I can hear you good.
All right, so we can't see Leah. This is a blind interview.
Oh, you can't see me? I can see me.
I'm just kidding. We can see you. It's just blurry. All right. So let's take a step back. Let's introduce our guest. My guest is Leah Flores.
Hey,
Leah, would you like to introduce yourself to my peoples? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people already know you, and let me go ahead and put you up here. Leah Flores.
You're so dumb. I do like that little thing, though. I got to figure that out. My name is Leah Flores, and I am the official host of Between the Sheets podcast.
Yep.
I'm a photographer, entrepreneur, business person, mom, wife, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
That's actually cool that you say that because I was telling them that like briefly while you were kind of setting up the cameras is that we did a show together. Yeah. We had a podcast. I did like 13 or 14 episodes with you.
Yeah, like 16.
Well, I didn't do 1 and 2. Oh, I did do 1.
You did 1, you didn't do 2 and 3.
Yeah, I didn't do 2 and 3.
Yeah, go ahead and put that out there, Dana.
And then anything after 16, I didn't do either.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know. I think you did maybe 117, and that was it.
Maybe I have the numbers, but Numbers mixed up. At any rate, we had a podcast together.
What's this show all about?
Oh, we're gonna get there. Don't worry. We just prepping our people to kind of give an intro to you, and then we had some technical difficulties. Allow us to, you know what I'm saying, a moment to get right. You heard? Right. At any rate, it's called Between the Sheets. So, like, for anybody that's listening that wants to plug, if you go to YouTube, if you go to Spotify, type in Between the Sheets with Leah. And what you're going to find is a Grippa podcast. And that's kind of where I wanted to start, actually, which is basically like from our journey of doing podcasts. Speak to me about where you are with it, what you found with it, what you've learned. Just start with the podcast. And then, to be honest, I am going to interview you. Keep going.
You know, it's funny that you asked that question because I would say, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I am still looking for the picture either on my Instagram or my Facebook page. But I remember purchasing, it was a newer mic, you know, the NEWEER, the cheap
yep.
mics.
Yeah.
And I bought this years and years ago when I was at my other house. And I took a picture of it and I posted it because I just knew that it was going to be something that I wanted to do at some point. And I'm still looking for that picture because it was always kind of I guess, the hope of some sort to be able to get to a broader audience and speak to
right.
a different level. So I had no experience, nothing with it. And after I posted the picture, I didn't do shit.
Yeah. So take us back. You said you had that how long ago?
I want to say that it was probably like 2015, 16 when I posted a picture of a mic and just said, like, I think I said something like, just wait or see what's coming or something like that. And then I didn't do anything with it. Just put it up there. But it was the thought, you know what I mean? Like there was some kind of thought behind it. And it wasn't until actually we got here and, you know, we had talked about the idea a little bit, but it just kind of continued to be swept underneath the rug. Yeah. And Chris was actually the one that really kind of put a fire under my butt to say, hey, like, we should do something. We should, you know, try to create some kind of, you know, podcast. And I said, well, I've always wanted to do it, but I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All I know is I know how to talk.
Yeah. So I want people to note that, like, something you do years ago can come back around 100%. Just like this fucking podcast. Like in 2020, I did 4 episodes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And to come to find out, like, this is what I love to do is fucking podcast. So here I go, season 2, and we're on episode 3 already. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you're being pressed. You know you can speak. You know you can speak, and you want to use your voice. Tell me, like during this process, like, what have you found out about yourself and about speaking? Like, what is it? What are you aiming at? Tell me about your journey, like what you think about it.
You know, I'm really not putting any pressure on myself for the podcast. Honestly, I feel like if I put too much pressure on me to try to commit or to, you know, to get numbers or to get followers or something like that, it's going to turn into that another thing that, you know, creates pressure. So I just allow it to be my, I guess, a space where it's an outlet for me. And we just talk about real deal stuff that I think people want to talk about, but sometimes they're scared to talk about it, or they have. We want to talk about the real deal stuff that people aren't talking about. It's just, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Because when women, friends, whoever it is, when they get around me, they like pour out. Like, I have had women come into my studio and they're crying within the first 5 minutes of meeting them, and I don't even know them. You know, they feel this space and they feel this, you know, you want to call it energy, you want to call it an aura, you want to call it just whatever it is. And they just pour out. And so a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, they've held in, they want to talk about it for years and years, and they don't, you know what I mean? So why aren't we talking about it? Because talking, I believe, creates healing.
So tell me, like, what is it about you that allows people to open up to you like that? What do you think it is?
You know, why don't you tell me? Because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, all I know is at the end of the day, to open up, you know, whether it's because I gave them a space, an opportunity, because I listen, you know, we're in a day and age that I feel like people just don't listen anymore. You're either listening, waiting to respond, or you're not listening. Your mind is preoccupied someplace else.
Yeah.
And people aren't truly listening to conversations anymore.
Right. Okay, so like that's just kind of my general idea of like just kind of getting your feel for the podcast thing, because when we started the podcast, like it was kind of like what you're saying, like you're not really sure, like you have a space like that your voice will land.
Yeah.
But it's really just you said it was like extracurricular, kind of like, what I'm saying, just fun for you.
Yeah, no, that's really what it was. And I think a lot of it too, just with I did a Bible study with, some of my girls back in the day, and they always just said, man, you should stream this live, or you should do this live so more people can hear. And that was kind of a thought as well. So.
Okay. So because the reason why I asked that is because, like for me, what I found is that like by using my voice, like this is what I feel like what I'm meant to do. And like people are afraid to have these conversations, and honestly, be transparent with you, like I'm not afraid to have these conversations. And like at this point in my life, I feel the value of sharing these stories. And really, it's not even my stories. Like, people like yourself or people that I interview, like people within my network, that I just find it incredible that like, we all have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And I find it powerful because you were on the live last week, and like we saw, literally, he's my childhood best friend, share something with me that he's never shared with me in that nature before. But, you know what I'm saying? But why on this platform, and what does it mean for him? And like, how do we like continue this transparency of being open? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what it's all about. It's just about being open, being transparent, being vulnerable. I tell people all the time is that when you allow yourself to be more open, you allow yourself to shed all the masks, the facades, get rid of all of it, because we all have junk, we all have things, we all are going through something. Then you open up the door to somebody else to feel like, okay, wait, she don't got it all together, he don't got it all together, and yet they feel more connected to us because of it, I feel like,
Yeah.
And so I think that's so important to open up that space for that, and to genuinely be authentic about it, because I think that you can also see the fake in people. And I'm not calling, like, you know what I mean? I'm just, there's an authentic way of just being, and then there's the
just forced.
Yes, just forced. Exactly.
Yes. And I want to dive into your story a little bit, because on your podcast we haven't had the chance to do this, and I'm sure you kind of know where I'm going with this. In my heart, I feel like you do. But I want to interview you because I have opened up to you. You were like, I'm just going to say, like, you were I was first going to say like my soul sister, like my spiritual, but it was more like a blanket. You were like a security blanket to me, that I felt like, because of like your what's the right way, your spiritual or your religious like background, your backbone, I felt safe. Like, so that's why I could open up to you. And I also feel like like the other half of like my life a little bit more than most people. But it was that safety, you know what I'm saying? So you give people, or myself, some type of feeling of safety. And I don't know what it is like that allows that to happen, but it's happening on my podcast now. It's like the conversations are allowing people to feel okay. You know what I'm saying? So I want to take a step back, because you introduce yourself pretty quickly, but Leah is a photographer, a phenomenal photographer here in town. She's actually down in Fountain. But she actually took me into her business. I worked with Leah for over 6 months, photo with video, to give people context. And during that time, we were producing a podcast called Between the Sheets. And on this podcast, Between the Sheets, there's 2 episodes of Dana Keith, which basically like you can go into like some of the deeper things about my life. I feel like there's so many more stories still.
What episode is it, Dana?
Say it again.
What episode is your episode? What number?
1 and 2. Dana Keith part 1, Dana Keith part 2.
Yeah, that's the way you look it up. Just go through them, and then you'll see Dana Keith part 1 and Dana Keith part 2. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, goddamn, Leah, I made 30 podcasts for brother. I made like 15. I don't know what numbers or what. All right. At any rate, the reason why I say that is because there are 2 interviews that are hour long that Leah leads the interview, and they interview me. They flip it on me. So this time on my podcast,
like you didn't know that this was happening, like really.
Yeah, I didn't, not at all. Y'all flipped it on me. Both times were surprises. The first time a big surprise, second time a little bit lesser of a surprise, but I was still surprised because I didn't know it was gonna happen on that day.
Yeah, you wanted a while longer to digest your story.
It is time to flip it on you. So on this podcast today, I want to talk about your journey, but not just your journey in photos. I want to talk about your relationship journey. Like you've been married for over 20 years. Like it's been a rocky road, but you've never really told this story that I'm looking for. And you know, between me and you, I kind of want to give people context. Like, I lean on Leah a lot, and I tell her a lot about like my spiritual stuff. But like, she helps me in a lot of ways with like relationships. So like, just having that conversation. Look at this. God damn it. Look at this. Nando up in the building. Look, you might as well hop on it with us.
The real comedians here, clean hands and all.
Dude, get out of here.
I cannot mess with Nando. Clean hands and all. That's funny because Nando's right next to you, and I'm sitting here saying like, yo, let's dive in.
He just walked in. He just happened to walk in as soon as you were in.
But
he goes, that man goes to bed at like 9 o'clock.
That's funny though. You know what I'm saying is the way that worked. But I do want to dive into some of the earlier phases of your life, because at this point, like for instance, when someone comes to your home, they assume a lot. They assume a lot about you. They really assume a lot about your husband too. And then they assume a lot about y'all relationship. So in this podcast, I kind of want to like take a step back, and I want you to kind of walk us through like, how has it been building this journey? And then we want to jump into a couple stories because this interview is about you. So first and foremost, before we begin, and I want you to open up and you can start wherever you want to start. But I just want to give Leah her flowers because she is an incredible businesswoman, entrepreneur, but she's a wife at the end of the day. She's a mom at the end of the day. And that's the stuff that people forget. You know what I'm saying? They don't even realize like you have all this other things going on. And yes, when you build a business, dog, there's some sacrifices.
Absolutely. So
like the stories that aren't told, and I know for sure that are not told on Between the Sheets quite yet, are about you. So let's flip this script here. You feel? Yeah.
Yeah, you're flipping it. All right.
So like let's just start. So tell me about like how you guys started and more so like the early stages. I don't want you to speak on the last 10, 15 years.
So it's always funny to say this because anytime I try to say this out loud, it sounds really bad. Okay. But hear me out for a second.
I got you. I'm listening.
My cousin is Nando's cousin.
That does sound bad.
But it's not by it's by marriage. So my auntie, my blood auntie, and his blood uncle are married and they have kids together, right? And so they're Nando's cousins, but they're also my cousins. But Nando and I don't have any blood relation. And so I mean, if you really just want to know the way that we met was I was with somebody else at the time. And I was living with this gentleman, and my cousin kept saying, hey, I want to bring this dude over to meet you. I want you to meet my cousin Nando, and he's dope, and he's this, and he's that. And I was like, I don't really want to meet him. And he ended up.
How old are you?
17.
All right, go ahead. 17
years old. And so he ends up bringing Nando over to my boyfriend's house.
At which you're living there.
Yes. And so I met him, and it wasn't like love at first sight or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? And that's kind of how our relationship started. They just kept trying to like get us together, like get us in the same room. And we had a love-hate relationship. Like he definitely didn't play easy. He was definitely, and I didn't play easy for sure at all. And so
when you say play easy, what's that mean? Like y'all was just playing?
Chase. There was something in the chase that like we both really enjoyed for some crazy reason or another. But I still was, I had been with that guy for about 3 years or so. And so I was really still kind of caught up in that relationship and trying to let it go, and yet still, you know, wondering if there was any potential with Nando at all. And so it went on for probably the first like year or two that I was back and forth with my boyfriend and playing the field kind of.
Yeah.
You know, and he did too. I mean, he had little gals that, you know, he would go and speak to and talk with and whatever. But I think he was a little bit more ready to settle into things. And he ended up catching me at my boyfriend's house again when I was supposed to like kind of be with him. And he ended up taking off to California and said, "That's it. I'm done with you. Like, don't want to mess around with you. Like, I'm done." And so he took off. And then I got all crybaby and was like, "No, wait, don't go." And so I went and I got on a Greyhound bus to go to California to go pick his ass up and bring him back.
What?
Yeah.
A Greyhound bus. That's
bus. Yes.
that's
like a 32-hour like trip or something there. It was insane. But he had told me, he says, if you come down here and you pick me up, I'll go home with you. Like I'll come back with you.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah. So you were at that time, you were proving not only to him but also yourself, kind of like this is what's gonna happen. Go ahead, fix it up. You know what I'm saying? Doctor it up. We here for the real, raw, and authentic. You heard?
I mean, yes and no. Like all I knew is that like I didn't. You're gonna trip out. Well, maybe you won't trip out. Maybe other people would trip out. But I remember being really high in my room one night. I don't know what I was on. Maybe I was on something crazy because I used to do crazy stuff. But I had a picture of him on my wall.
Nando?
Yes, I'm Nando on my wall in my parents' bedroom. Or my parents' house in my bedroom, my parents' house. And I could see him like age before my eyes. It was trippy as shit. Like I could.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you could see him age. That's what you're saying.
Grow into a man.
Yes.
And I knew that I was supposed to be with him.
With that man.
That sounds, you know.
With the older version.
Yes. Because like it wasn't like like I'm so in love and we have this great love fairy tale and I just, you know, love being with him. Like, no, we love to hate each other. Like we love to hate each other. You know, the first years of our relationship were really rough and tough. And then even into the marriage, it was really, really, really hard. So,
okay. So take us back. You said that, okay, he's in your wall. This is when he came back. Is when you're looking at this, you can kind of see him, or you're just kind of speaking in general, like that's kind of how you were thinking that.
I was playing the field. So not only with the boyfriend that I was with, there was a couple of other guys that I was talking to, and I was these like I don't, you know, I'm not afraid to say it now. It's just that I was one of the girls that like you had to wine and dine me and take me out, and then I just wasn't about that. You know, like you had to chase me. And
so you're saying you was a tease, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I didn't give it up.
Yeah, so you would trick all of us into thinking, oh, we going to dinner, she's having fun, she's actually laughing, but nah, in the back of her mind, it's just that one dude that's been with her for a while.
I can hear me laughing in the other room. This is crazy. So this is the real deal. This is what you're asking for. This is the real deal. And
no, for real.
I had to kind of configure like, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing in my life? Like, this is getting way too difficult. This is hard to juggle. Like, what am I really doing? Where am I going?
How old are you? How old are you at this time?
I was like probably 18. I was like, you know, this all 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
At that time, but I knew at that when I saw that picture and I just kind of was tripped out on that, is that I knew that I was, you know, that he was the one for me. So, Oh my God, Nando!
Hey, don't be throwing out my dirty laundry like that.
It's bedtime.
She's right. Our relationship was like Pikes Peak, dog. That Rocky Mountain.
Hey, check this out. This is crazy because you're literally hopping in. You know what I'm saying? And this, obviously, this is funny as hell to me. But Nando, from your perspective, early on, speak to me early on, not last 10 years. I want to talk to me early on. Like, what were y'all really going through? What was going on, and then what changed? From Nando's perspective.
It was rough, dog. Like real. Like she said, it was the change between the both of us. She was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, and like I said, it's just I was tired of it. Like you said, I was tired of it. Just because, you know, in California, it's whole different. It's a whole different lifestyle out there, you know, wind-wise and everything. But here, I just wanted something different. You know, even when I came here, it's beautiful out here. And, you know, when she came, like you said, when she came to California, man, and that was it for me. Like, I knew, like, it's real. She's real. It's gonna.
Okay.
But
this is really good. So bring me back to that California. What were you thinking on your way out?
I was ready to be out of there, bro. Like it was either here or Arizona. I knew I wasn't going to be in California. I just had to get out.
Okay.
You know.
And then when Leah pops back on the bus, what you thinking when she pop up off the bus?
Bro, that was a 30-hour drive, dog.
Yeah.
So I knew, you know.
Yeah.
If she was going to take that Greyhound bus, then I knew that there was something going to be there between us.
God, that's crazy. A 30-hour trip. All right, so now, and Nando, you could stay or whatever. I don't give a damn. But like,
I mean, me and Whitney over there just cracking jokes. You know me, I'm a sideline comedian.
Yeah. We got to get you on open mic one day. You know what I'm saying? You could be the main star. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'll just make you laugh on the sidelines.
All right. So bring me back, okay? Y'all get back. Y'all come here. What's like? What do you guys like? Do y'all make a plan? Like, what happens?
No plan, no nothing. This was all like a whim. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think for me, where I really relied on was like I lost my dad at age 19. And so that was a really difficult time in my life. And he was there, you know, through that and saw me through that. And we weren't married at that time. And we didn't even have Joey. So I didn't have Joey until I was 20 when I got pregnant, and I think I was 19 when I got pregnant, actually. So it was right after my dad died. I wanted a baby. I wanted to fill that void. I wanted to fill that like empty space, and I thought that was the right, you know, way to do it. And I'm not like, that's not taking back anything that I did because I love my son, but I can recognize now that that's what I was doing. I was just trying to, you know, fill that void of that empty spot. But he saw me through all of that, and we had Joey, and then I just started doing, you know, the mom thing. I just started being a mom, and, you know, mind you, I was I think I was selling phones at that time. And I was actually making pretty good money as a salesperson. I was making pretty good money, and I ended up having him and then staying home for a while and just doing what you're supposed to do, I guess, as a mom, like what you think that you're supposed to do, you know, taking care of house, home, and whatnot. And that's what I did for the next, you know, few years.
So during that time period, and I got chills because I'm gonna ask a tough question, but this is something, you know what I'm saying, I really think about. Like, during that time period in the early years when you're doing what you believe you're supposed to do you have resentment at that time?
No, I didn't. I'll be honest with you, because I didn't have a dream yet. I didn't have aspirations, and I didn't have that, like, what I want to do. I didn't even quite know who I was. Just because life went by so fast, you know. So I was just living life. Like, that was it. There weren't these aspirations of this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, this is what I'm going to be in. And again, you know, when I was pregnant with Joey, Nando and I got in trouble with the law, and I got a case on me that was almost a felony case. And he did too. And my mom had to bail me out of jail. And she was disappointed in me because, you know, again, I just lost my dad. Now I'm making these really bad decisions. I'm pregnant, 3 months pregnant at this time, and, you know, thinking that, like, I'm getting my life together, and I'm really not. And it wasn't until then that I was like, man, like, what the hell am I going to do? I dropped out in 10th grade.
Right.
I never graduated school. I was, you know, out with the little hoodlums. That was my crew, and we were out. Like we would pull up to school and we'd be gone. Like we would like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're not gonna skip school today. And then we'd see all the homies coming out, and they would want to go smoke, and we're like, all right, I guess we're gonna go smoke. You know, so. I made a lot of bad decisions, and so no, there was no plan, and there was no, there weren't any dreams. There definitely wasn't any dreams or vision at that particular point, if I'm being quite honest.
No, that's good. Now, that's actually really good, because you can add some context to that. So like, if you're a woman with a dream, you could be in a totally different space, like in that moment, and then somebody who's not that is their life, so they don't know any different. So this is my other question, because I don't know where this is coming from, but like, it was just something that I heard recently, and they basically said something in the nature of like, when I was trying to find myself and be a mother, that's like the toughest thing to do. What do you think about that? And like, have you ever experienced anything in that nature, like trying to find yourself and be a mom?
I don't even think that I looked for myself for years. And again, I just felt like I was just living life. I was at this point was like trying to get, I was working on credit, and like, you know, I knew that I wanted to buy a house, and like, these are the things that you do, right? Like, you know, I need to provide, you know, we need to make sure that we work. We need to make sure that we do this. Like, let's get the house next. Let's get the car next. Like, these are the things that you do. And we were doing them, you know, we were successful at doing them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I ever took the time to really kind of figure out who I was. And it wasn't until
that's good, because I was just gonna ask you, when did you take that? When do you think you turned that corner?
It was in 2000 and I would say between 2008 and 2010. I started to do Zumba, and I was almost 200 pounds. That was after Noah. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I have to show you my pictures. You
still got the memories.
I'm tall, so I can wear it well. Like, you don't know, like, if I was shorter, then you would see it everywhere else. But since I'm tall, I can wear it well. But I was almost, I think it was like 198 pounds or something like that. It was pretty crazy. And so I was like, you know, I had Noah, and was like, I need to start doing something. Like, I need to start doing something with myself, because I had just been raising these kids. Now mind you, there was a lot that happened in between, and I don't know how much, even now, be comfortable with me saying or not, you know, but
yeah, don't cross the line.
Yeah, there was a lot in between that happened in the marriage that like really shook the marriage. And
okay, let's just start there. How do you get through that when your whole marriage is shaking, okay? And shit is falling out of the goddamn shit that you're shaking it. How did you guys move through it? How do you think? All right, so let's talk about it. Let's do it. I want to talk about it, because
you know who was there, Dana? When all this stuff hit the fan was Juanita.
Really?
Yeah, and we were at a spot where, you know, it was a make it or break it spot, and it was like, okay, you know, I'm out. I want out. And I said, slow down, slow your roll. You need to really think about all of this, and you're acting out of emotion right now, when really you just need to like chill. And she invited me to her church, and I didn't want to go to church.
Oh.
I was like, I don't want to go to church. Well, I don't need to go to church. He need to go to church. Like, I don't need to go to church.
Yeah.
But I ended up going, and the pastor there was amazing. For the next 4 years of marriage was in church. And that's the only reason. That's the only way, was through the support of just, you know, really relying on God, and allowing him to just, you know, be in our life at that time. That's the only way, because I couldn't have done it. There's no way I couldn't have done it. I don't think he could have done it on our own.
So y'all leaned on the church. And
Yeah.
between me and you, is that when you first like really fell into the Bible? Is that when you're starting to learn the Bible like the way that you know it now?
So I grew up Catholic, and so I always knew of, Jesus and God and Mary, but it's just a different feel. Like you, and I'm not downplaying the Catholic people or whatever, because I grew up that way. My dad was Catholic, but it just didn't feed me at all, like at
Yeah.
all. I
It's
just
too
remember,
routine. I hate it.
yes. And I remember, all I know is that when it was communion time, it was time to go. Like, that's all I can remember from being Catholic, was like, I know we got like 5 more minutes to sit in this church and then we're out. Like, we get to go.
Yep.
But yes, I would say that that was the first time that I was introduced to relationship, not religion. And
That's important.
that was everything, because I was so used to, this way. I remember, having a conversation with you and telling you that, there was so much in me that felt like God was upset with me, that he was mad with me, that, I was going to go to hell. Like, and
Right.
when I learned about the love, like that God had for me, and the love of Christ, and what we create as people, like we create judgment, we create labels, we create it was never meant to be. That was never God's way. If we think that we could even understand or fathom God's, like, the way he thinks,
Right.
we have no idea. We have no idea, And so when I started to get into that church, yes, I started to dive deep into my word, and that's when I really felt like, God was speaking to me on a whole different level. And it was I think at year marker 4 where I felt like I had outgrown the church, even that I felt like that the message was stagnant and I needed to move on, because I wasn't being fed there anymore.
Okay, so take me back. Okay, I'm hopping subjects just because I'm bouncing here. When you guys were 17, 18, you know what I'm saying, 19, about to have your kid, were you guys living together? Were you guys living separate? Were you, like, what was going on there? And when did you guys actually start moving in together?
So I moved out of my house. Me, solo Leah, moved out when I was 15, turning 16.
And where did you go?
I went to my cousin's house. My cousin Lorenzo, he had my cousin Lorenzo and my cousin Dream. They had a house that they were renting from their mom. And so I was like, well, shoot, I want to be out. Like, I don't want to follow rules. Like, I want to make my own rules. And so they said, well, you can come and stay here. You got to pay rent and things. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went there. When Nando and I were dating, I was living at that time with the boyfriend, and I had to go back home for a little while. And so while we were, kind of dating, I was back at home with my parents. And then we talked about moving out, because the auntie that he was living with, she was really, really strict. Like, he was like 18, couldn't even watch R-rated movies.
Me too.
Yeah.
You, Nando.
Had to be home, like, had a curfew, at a certain time, whatnot. So she was just really, really strict. And honestly, she didn't like the fact that we were together at all. She, was one of the first people to speak on our marriage and say that we weren't going to make it.
Really?
Yeah, that we wouldn't survive.
Look at God.
Yeah. And so we decided to move in together. And the first apartment that we moved into was right off of across the street from Mitchell High School. So Potter, that area right there, we were staying, and that wasn't the most best area to live in, but that's where we stayed. And I felt like I had lost my because we weren't married then. We were still just together. We weren't married. And I felt like I had lost a lot of my freedom, because he was, he's Latin, and so he's a little bit possessive. And so he didn't like me going out with the girls anymore. And I started feeling like, dang, man, like I feel like I'm suffocating here,
Right.
And kind of like later on down the road, what I realized about me from my dad, like, if you take it back, it has nothing to do with Nando. Like, if you take it back to my life and how I grew up, it's just that I'm a very, very independent person. And I think that's because that, I was a latchkey kid and had to, like, fend for myself. And so with my dad, like, my dad would try to set rules and I would break them,
Right.
And I love my dad. I was daddy's girl. I was definitely daddy's girl. But it started from then that I wanted to make my own rules in it, and I didn't want anybody to suffocate me. Like I didn't want anybody to try to hold me down. And so being in that apartment, I felt a little held down, and some things happened. Almost car got shot up. And we ended up having to, that was kind of my out. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of like, I'm going to go back home. That's my reason right there. I'm going to go home. So I went back home for a little while. And, I think that may have been the time that I was really also, contemplating, do I want to stay in a relationship? Do I, do I want to be single? Do I, I didn't know.
Right. And
so we kind of stayed separate. We were together, but I was separate from him as far as living with him goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many months went by, maybe 3 months or so. We ended up getting into another apartment and stayed there for a bit. And I don't think we didn't have Joey then either. Nope. That was on Pikes Peak and Murray area. And
I live around them parts.
Yeah. And then after that, we did move into Verde. We were right there by, where the funeral home was, the funeral place that we went to. We were right there on Verde. So right in those apartments that are in the back, real hood apartments.
Yeah.
That's where I brought Joey home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. It's crazy because, obviously Joey's a goddamn adult now. You know what I'm saying? So all right, so take me back a little bit further. I want to know about between your relationship, how do you view the marriage, the living before one another with relationship? How do you view that whole thing now?
Are you asking me from a spiritual concept? Would I say that was something that you should do, or are you just asking me just in general because I know what the word says about fornicating and things like that. And at the end of the day, when I say that I'm a different kind of Christian, it's because, we took the context of the word, and I think we turned it into something that it's not. And so, I know what the word says. I do. And I'm not saying the word is valid and true. And there's the principles that we're supposed to hold, very near and dear to our heart. But I also believe that, that the people that wrote it, they were just as
go ahead.
They were just as imperfect as us.
Yes.
And I do believe that it was inspired by the breath of God. I do believe that. I believe that what God tells me is inspired by the breath of God. But do I still make mistakes? Am I still wrong?
Amen.
Am I still,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, today's day and age, I don't envy anybody who's single. I do not envy anybody who's single. I don't, I hear stories from Whitney. From all kinds of people about
Whitney?
The single life is and I don't wish to be out there. I don't want to be out there. It's a totally different world right now. And so if people have to move in with each other to get to know each other, then maybe that's better than just jumping the gun and getting married and then divorcing, a year later.
Yeah. I only asked that because I've obviously you've been through it, and then as you kind of see other people go through that same struggles, it's kind of crazy. For somebody who's had success, and I don't want to say that your way was the right way, because I don't know, what I'm saying? But it's still being played out there's only one way, and as if it's so specific. All right, let's keep going. So I want to know, when you turned the corner, okay, and you started to thinking about Leah,
Mm-hmm.
What was that process like? Where were you at in life? What were you going through? Speak about that.
How many people are watching this show right now?
Right now I have 6.
So in 2009-10, I started doing the Zumba, and I met an individual, her name is Danny, and she was very vibrant. What's that?
I said 7, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay. And she, she showed me something in life that I guess there's no other way. She was just a really vibrant woman that I really took to. And what I realized that I was seeking out in her was an emotional connection, one that I didn't have with my mom. And I loved having that really, really tight knit, close connection with her. And I guess the only way to say it is that like she thought about it in a different way. And so, but what I took from that, and I'll take from every experience that I have, you know what I mean? What I took from that is I learned so much more about myself. Between 2009 and 2012, there was, you know, some crazy things that I learned about Leah and who Leah was and what did Leah want. And like, let me start putting Leah first because everybody else was first before me. You know what I mean? Like as much as I was a selfish person, when I say that in the sense that like, I always, you know, I kept my freedom and I still, you know, did things that I wanted to do. I'll say that like when I had Joey, my whole damn world changed. You know what it's like to be a parent. You know what I mean? Like your whole world changed, your whole way of thinking changed. You go into this protection mode and you go into this mode of I need to take care of, you know?
Right.
And then 4 years later, I had Isaiah, and then 4 years later, I had Noah. And, you know, still just kind of doing all of the same things. And I started asking myself questions like, what is it that you're going to do? Like, what do you want to do with your life? You know, is this it? Is this what you do with life? Is this how you live it? And I think just meeting her and having this experience with her, it opened up my eyes to like a different world. We traveled, we went to
y'all friends? Like y'all friends? Like what's going on? Like what's cracking?
So I mean, you know, we definitely had an emotional connection. And I think that she was I think she was in love with me. And I'm kind of easy to love. I don't know, you know.
That's none though.
But she showed me, I don't know, she just kind of showed me how, you know, what it was like to like just kind of feel free. And however she did that, whether it was good or whether it was bad, I learned something about me, and that was just kind of about being free. And so I continued to pursue this journey of progressing, you know, and learning me.
Growing.
Why I acted the way that I did, why I was the way, why did I get temperamental? Why was I jealous?
Because she helped you with these things. Is that kind of what it is? Like talking to her helped you through those things? Is that what was it?
No, she gave me a freedom. She gave me this sense of like, you know, living a free life. And
free spirit.
How she did that. She's from Panama, you know, and she just, you know, they love to dance and they love to eat and just travel and I love that about her. And no, it wasn't. I had another friend in my life. Her name was Diane, and she's a lot older than me. She was like in her 50s. And I would go and see Diane every single Friday, and she was supposed to graduate from this UCLA as a psychiatrist, and she never got her doctorate. But I would go see her, and she would talk to me, and she would just really ask these pressing questions. Why? You know, why? So if something was going on in my life, why? Why did that happen? And then it would all fall back to me.
Okay, got it.
Everything would always fall back to me. Like she was trying to have me pull from here as opposed to point out here, you know? And
why?
I fell in love with finding out about me. What I liked, what made me tick, what, you know, I fell in love with that journey, and I haven't stopped since then.
That's actually really, really interesting, because that journey that you're describing, I feel like it's more something that I've discovered probably in the last like 3 years since I've had my son. It's like, why the hell am I cutting up like that? You know what I'm saying? And why is going to be the biggest thing that I take away from this podcast, because like that's a very easy question to continually ask yourself, to pull to get to the root cause. You know what I mean? And then like, okay, so then you start asking yourself why, And what did you learn about yourself?
Jeez, man, all the stuff that you don't want to believe about yourself. You know, when you start to pull these roots up, and you know, you realize that you are putting on a facade, that you have this you know, fakeness about you that, you know, you don't want to lead on to. There is, when you're being real and raw about it, you're like, damn, like I am judgmental, and damn, I am jealous, and damn, I am all of these things. And then you ask why, and you start to figure out why. There's so much power in that, because I think the awareness first of like this is where some of these things happen. Now, some of us can take it into a degree of like, this happened to me, and play the blame game, and you know, and this is why. But eventually we have to take responsibility and say, okay, this happened to me. This is probably where I learned some of these characteristics, but now what am I going to do to change it? What am I going to do to not only recognize it, but now change the pattern?
Right.
You know? And so that's what I did. I just kept, okay, it started out with, you know, the self-help books. I was always in my word the whole time. But then it was, you know, reading other books and hearing different people and taking their journey and their stories and figuring out all of these pieces and learning that it was okay not to be okay. Like it was okay that, you know, I didn't have it all together. Like it didn't have to be this pretty package. It was like, here it is. If you like it, then you like it. And if you don't, then too damn bad.
Damn, that I wish more people knew that, like, it's okay to not be okay, like, and to have it not figured out.
Yeah.
Because kind of how I started this podcast was like, yo, when people see you, they question about your house. They assume was my word. They assume about you. They assume about your husband. They assume about your house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are all assumptions.
Yeah.
But like what's really going on between the sheets, you know what I'm saying, or between those walls is like life.
Yeah.
And like even more importantly is it's not the same, but it's the same thing going on in any other household.
And I think
You know
that's the beautiful thing about life is the mess, right? Like the
right.
mess is beautiful. You figure it out. You know, you choose your path, whatever it is, right or wrong, you get to choose. And that's the beautiful mess that we have. Like it's not perfect. And we're in this generation right now of looking at things that seem to be perfect. And it's the farthest from the truth. And so why are people drawn? That would be my answer to you, is that because I think when you are your most real self and you're like, here I am with all my junk and everything else. And yes, I'm still successful. And yes, I'm still doing the damn thing, but I have just as much as junk as you. And you open up to that. I feel like they do are like, oh, wow. Like this is a safe place.
And I got a comment here because Jules says it's so hard to look in the mirror. Like when I thought about that, I instantly got a feeling, you know what I'm saying? Take me back when you was in a hot mess and you looking in the mirror. How does Leah get through that?
I think that I just have to continue to remind myself of what I've done, where I'm at, everything that I've learned, because I think it's in the mess that you learn so much about yourself, you know, and you ask yourself so many of these questions, and those are just the tools. It doesn't mean that it never means that you're not going to have another mess. Like you're going to have more messages, but what you've done is you built your toolbox in order to help you through those things. So it's all preparation in order to help you through the next mess that you're going to come into, because you're either coming from one, you're either, you know, in one right now, or you're about to be in one.
Okay. I got another question. So we're talking about the mess, right? Before the storm, in the storm, or going to the storm, right? Speak about how you have patience, or even like, let's say, what are we in, December? I know you took a kind of a mini break. I can't even say you took a month off. You ain't take a damn month off. But let's be real. So like, what did you learn in that time frame in terms of like patience, appreciation, or what did you learn? Like, I don't even have to put words in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? What did you learn?
In the time that I took off?
Yeah, I think that's more of my question.
Yeah. Well, I think I had an epiphany moment that I had realized that I had checked out, you know, that I had then, so if you fast forward from like learning about Leah and doing this, and I became real selfish.
Yeah.
I was all about like, okay, now this is about me, and it's going to continue to be about me. And it was about my business, and it's about, you know, all the things that I'm doing, and I have this to go to, and this to go to, and this to do. And I think you become so busy with the busy, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean? That you don't allow for some of these relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about your kids' relationships. I'm talking about your husband, your wife relationship. I'm talking about like you got to put this on the back burner. And I checked out, you know, I became so busy with the busy work. And you start looking, and time is fleeting. Like it is fleeting so
Right.
fast. And before you know it, your kid is 20 and out the door. Do you know what I mean? From this little baby that you're talking about to 20 and out the door. And you're like, damn, like 20 years just went by like that. And you know, what do I really want to say at the end of the day? Like, do I want to say like, yes, I was successful and had great money, had a good business and whatever? Or, you know, yes, I want those things. Absolutely, I want those things.
Right.
But when in that do I take the break to say, all right, you know, let me slow down and enjoy the fruits of this labor?
Right. So I guess we did fast forward because I was so interested in like your thought process now, because I feel like and this is something that obviously we share very close birthdays, so we're both Capricorns, and I just recently read up on like that shit, and I don't know how much like the astrology, all that shit really is, but like it really was talking about like how Capricorns is workaholics, and like, and then I was talking to somebody today, and they were just talking about like, man, I've been working for the last X amount of time, and I don't even know if I even enjoyed any of it.
Jeez, yeah.
And I was just like, damn, like you don't think it's like paying off? And it was like, well, yeah, but all those times I didn't really enjoy or appreciate those moments.
Yeah.
So I bring the question to you is like, how do you balance like the business with having hustle and ambition, and also family, or even just yourself, and appreciate the moments? Like, how do you find, where do you find the balance in that? Or what do you think about those ideas?
There is no balance. I think you've heard me say that before. Is I don't believe that there is any true sort of sense of balance that you can create, because if you tip the scale here, then this one is, you know, going to be tipped here, and if you tip it here, this one's tipped here. So you're in this constant battle of trying to equal these things out. Like that's the battle, is trying to equal them out. And yet you don't ever, you know, I think you're going to feel unsteady in one way or another, but you have to have grace with yourself. You have to have mercy with yourself. And you have to understand that everybody else is living their individual life. You're responsible for you at the end of the day. And yes, you're responsible for your kids. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying at the end, you got to give an account for you. That's going to be it. Like, you are going to have to give an account for the way that you live life and what you did with your life. You know, how did you make it count? And if all I'm doing is working for me, and, you know, even if I feel like, yes, when I say that, you know, so often I want to leave this legacy for my kids. What if they don't want this legacy?
Right.
You know, what if they don't want this? What if they did like the prodigal son? You know what I mean? Like they wasted all away, and everything that you work for is shit, you know? Then what do you have? And so I think my question continuously is, you know, what do I really want people to say to me when I'm gone? Like, say about me when I'm gone, you know? And I think even being in that funeral, you know, Anthony's funeral that we went to, like the words, the beautiful words, it's always the memories. It wasn't anything about how hard of a worker he was and how, you know what I mean? I don't want that to be my legacy. It's just that, like, yeah, she was a hustler. She was, you know, this, she made good money. I want it to be, how did I affect your life? You know, what did I do? How did I help you?
Yeah.
Is kind of what I'm striving for now. And so I'm looking for those opportunities, those moments, those relationships that I can make those happen, that I can make that happen in.
It's crazy, man. You know, saying like the mindset, like the perspective, and like obviously like you've been through so much, so it's interesting to hear these things, because you know I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side, respectively. Like I'm at a very early like stage in my like entrepreneurship, and I'm really striving for those things that like when you look back, like I do cry about, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, like the worst thing that I've ever thought about is like people having regrets on their deathbed. You know what I'm saying? Like you never regret something you did. You always regret things you didn't do that you knew you could have did, that you knew you was being spoken to, that you knew that you definitely had the talents and the connections and who knows, like you just believed in yourself at one point. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I feel like, and this is me speaking, I'm not saying this is what it is, but like I feel like your kids are inspired way more by you doing what you're doing now than if you didn't.
Yeah.
Because
And we
like
talked about that. We talked about that in one of the recent podcasts that we just did, is that like, look, it's almost like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because if I didn't, right? And let's say that we were poor and that, you know, we didn't have the money to take a vacation and we didn't have the money to do certain things or whatever, then they'd be like,
in
why
the back of
don't we
mind,
have
you're saying like I could have helped.
right, you know what I mean? Like, well, how come we don't have this that Sally Joe has from down the street, you know? And then it becomes this other, you know, I never had this growing up. Like, I didn't have this growing up, but I was at every baseball game for you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
you can't figure it out. And I think if that's my message is you cannot, you can go to this extreme and then this is going to happen. You can go to
Right.
this extreme and this is going to happen. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? So
You're right.
at the end of the day, it's your journey. Live it out the way that you want to. You know,
Right.
we each get these choices. We each get these paths. We get to choose whatever damn path we want to go on. You could go and create a whole world of destruction on one path. You know what I mean? And just choose that that's what you want to do. Like you just want to be
Right.
reckless and you just want to, like, you know, you have that choice. Anybody does at any given day have all of these choices right before them, you
Right.
know, but I hope you choose life. Like, I hope you choose, you know, like this is, you know, when I say that, I'm speaking to anybody. It's just that there's so much, there's so many benefits of, you know, the hustle. There's so many benefits of working hard. There's so many benefits. And at the end of the day, I got to take some of those consequences and some of those sacrifices with that and be okay with it.
Right. Right. I think what you described and what I always visualize is like walking that thin line. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that what is it? It's like the yin and yang thing. Like for a long time I was obsessed with the yin and yang. Like I was exploring I might go left on this one, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyways. I was exploring like spiritual things and like the yin and yang was super interesting to me because it was like that little bit of black in the sea of white, or you know what I'm saying, or the little bit of white in the black, and it was like that. It was that contrast of you walking that thin line. You know what I'm saying? And my question to you is, obviously you're not the end all be all, but you do know a lot and you have a lot of knowledge. What do you think about like the different, all right, so I'm gonna do two at one time. I like to do these type of things, ask two questions at once. But like when I was growing up, one of my better friends, he was like this I'm gonna try to be respectful, but he was Indian. And he would never in his life ever say like Jesus Christ is his savior. Like in his life, he would never say that because they have like so many gods or whatever in his religion.
Right.
All right. And then I like how I was talking about like the yin and yang, and I was actually exploring a little bit more of like what the hell is it? Malcolm X, and then what are they studying? I can't remember right now.
Muslim.
Yeah, Muslim. So like, yeah, Islam, Nation of Islam. So I was looking at that. Like, what do you think about like all of these that they kind of have the same message, but like, what do you think about that versus? Because like when I was growing up, I feel like God put this one specific person in my life because Neil is a great soul. Like the dude I'm talking about, he is a pure soul. He's a like love. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
who he is. He was a very intelligent dude, but he would never like talk to Jesus Christ. But he is talking to God. He does talk to God as his God. What do you think about that? Because I always find something
Really
like,
gonna be in the hot seat tonight, Dana Key.
I am, because you're my spiritual soul like guider.
Look, I'm just gonna be real with you and just say this, because I don't want to stray anybody away from what it is that I believe and make them go on a path and, you know, think that something is right or wrong. And I think that, you know, so many of us think that we have all of the answers and we don't. At the end of the day, if any one person in this world can come and tell me that they understand the mind of God, then I can't talk to you, because you don't, you can't, and you won't. And so if you think that just because you know your word and just because you know what, you know, every single scripture is and what it's about, that you know and understand the mind of a living God that created the heavens and the earth, I can't take that anymore. And my mind shifted in 2020, and I had an experience with God, and I'll just let you know, the conversation went a little something like this. And God said to me, how do you see me? And I said, well, God, I see you as Jesus. Like, I see you as the man with the beard and the robe, and like, that's how I see you. And he says, okay, and if somebody sees me as black, are they wrong? And I said, no. And he said, okay, so where do you draw the line? And I was like, where do I draw the line? Like, what do you mean, God? Like, what does that mean? And he said, where do you draw the line? And this is a full-blown conversation I'm having with God. Like, this went on for about 6 weeks. I was in high meditation, just with God. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to be on my emails. I didn't want to be with clients, like, because I was on this walk with God. And it was at a time that I just needed to be. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to say. It was just something that I had to slow down my life to hear this message. And he said, you people judge, like you guys are the ones that have created the judgment seat, and you guys sit in it. And that was never my design. And he said, so when I came to Moses as a burning bush, was he wrong? And I was like, damn, like,
that's heat.
how could I say that was wrong? Well, God, it's in your word. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's in your word. And he said, so where do you draw the line? And he said, when I came to a man as a donkey and I spoke to him, was he wrong? And I was like, dang. And he said, so who are you to say that the way that I convey myself to others is wrong? And I couldn't any longer. So all I know is that Jesus is who I chose in my life. For, you know, that's who I see, but somebody may see something else, and I can't be the person in the judgment seat saying that they're wrong. I can't do it. That's not my place.
That's a great answer, Leah Flores. Leah Flores. If y'all don't know, this is my special guest.
You know
what I'm saying? I left it up the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So let's just kind of rewind here, okay? Because I wanted to talk about relationship stuff. So if you had advice, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get to like the other half, and obviously there are some deeper things, and you know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure we're respectful, because like
I get a part 2, Dana? I get a part 2?
Your camera gotta be a lot more clear for part 2.
Oh, okay.
But you know what I'm saying? You do have a camera, we can set it up. It's actually something super easy. I'll help you out, and then you could do your show like this too. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so what is the damn tip for like somebody like with relationship advice? You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to speak to maybe like the married people, because like to have 20 years is rare. And I feel like there is some insight that you have that a lot of people need. So maybe just have that message.
You know, you have to pick and choose your battles, number one. You know, not everything is that serious. And
okay, come in with heat. Go ahead.
It's just true. You know, you really do, because you can think of every little thing to argue about and to get upset about. And all of these little things end up building up into this big thing. So you have to pick and choose your battle. You have to realize that, you know, your partner is not perfect, and your job was never to make them something that they're not. And I think that you just need to, you know, make sure that you support them, you support their dreams, you support who they are and who they grow to be, because we change and we evolve so much throughout the years. And I think the sad thing about most of these relationships is that they never they never see that fruition of the relationship changing, because they give up. And I would say stay in the game, because the grass is not greener on the other side. You know, if you choose a different partner, you choose a whole different set of problems. Like, that person has just as many problems as this other person, and you're signing up for a whole new set of problems. Like, that's it. Yeah. We're all imperfect people. You know, understand that. I think and many times there's going to be a leader in the relationship. There's going to be somebody who falls back, and it's going to always shift. There's always going to be that dance, that push and pull. You got to know when to lead. You got to know when to fall back. You know, and understand, and this is probably going to be, you know, real deal stuff here, is that you're going to fall out of love. You're going to fall in and out of love with your partner. And it doesn't mean that you don't have love for them, but you have to work at being in love. You have to work at it. It's not this fairy tale thing of like everything is perfect. You know, no matter what anybody sees on the outside, you have to work at it and choose.
Wow. What y'all think, man? Goddamn, this is an episode of goddamn Networking Network, Dan Keys motherfucking podcast. What's up, Leah Flores? We in the building. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple other things for you. I want to do a quick rapid fire, okay? This rapid fire, I'm just learning about this whole rapid fire thing, and like I snatched it from a podcast that I watched. It's called Drink Champs, anybody. But basically they just do this rapid fire thing where they just go through a whole bunch of things. And my flip on this rapid fire is, instead of doing like where you pick one or the other, I like to do stories. Okay, so like rapid fire stories, you know what I'm saying, as quick as you can relatively, but I want you to tell rapid fire stories. When you think about early on in your business, what is the funniest thing you think of?
Damn. What is the funniest thing I think of that? Like, I guess some of my posing, some of my, like, when I really thought I was good and I wasn't. Like, I really believed in my head that I was good.
Right. All right. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. So looking back, what did you learn being so young and growing up so early?
I mean, I learned that, you know, you can live life really fast, and you could, you know, make some really bad choices, and you know, you can continue on that path. That's that whole journey thing. But I also learned now, and it took me a long time to get there. It wasn't while I was in it, but I learned now that, like, that's who made me, you know, that's what made me who I am. Like, honestly, like, is.
All right, tell a story about young Leah.
Well, I had a club, and it was called the Boss, the Hot Babes. That was what it was called. It was called the Hot Babes. I mean, I was bossy Rossi. Like, I was a controlling little friend. I always had to be in control, you know, like I created field trips, and I collected money, and like I decided where we were going to go, and I decided how much, you know, like we got to spend, and I wasn't fun. Like, damn, I was mean. Like,
all right. Tell a story about Chris. All right, just kidding. Tell a story about us in the studio. What is one of your favorite memories about us in the studio?
I cannot. Freaking Whitney, you're so dumb, fool. This is us in the studio. What are you talking about? Like, this is us in the studio. So I don't know what to say about that. Like, we just always had a good time. I don't know if I can say that I have a specific, like, this is my favorite time. We always had a good time.
Oh my gosh. All right. I don't know what else to say. What's your favorite episode of your podcast that you like? What's your favorite episode?
Gosh, dang, that's a good one.
You don't even know, huh?
No, I really don't. I really don't know. I honestly really like the first one. I really like the first one because I just believe so much in imagination and manifestation, and that whole.
And that's how we fucking started. God, that was so cool.
That's like the core of who I am. So.
All right, here you go. Tell a story about manifestation.
Well, one that you guys haven't heard. Geez, like, well, you know, you've gotten to hear them all, Dina.
Yeah, so, sure. But we have a different crew. We have a guest. We have a different crew.
I think that well, I mean, manifestation, I didn't realize when it started, and it started for me really, really young. I guess that would be my story, is that I didn't even realize I was manifesting when I was manifesting.
Right.
You use your imagination even as a young child. If you truly believe in what it is that you are thinking about, then it can actually come true.
Yo, if y'all listen to anything on this motherfucking podcast, I hope you took that fucking nugget. because your imagination, that's it. Like, yo, that's it. Can you really imagine it? Yeah. And that's what people be like, do you believe? Like some motherfuckers don't even know if they believe or not. Like, motherfucker, can you imagine it? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, is that you have to be able to actually visualize it, see it in your head, just like focus on a picture, like whatever it is that you want, focus on that, like focus on it. And then you be able to start to create. And I can't tell you how it works. It just works.
Nando said his favorite episode is 2 and 3 on your podcast, just so you know. But look, y'all, this is my special guest, Leah Flores. Look, I just want to thank you for your time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we've been up here. We've been chopping it up. We had some technical difficulties, but I don't care. I think the story went through because of people are responding. I know that when they go back and they listen to the playback, that this will be one that resonates, because relationships, everybody has relationships. We talking about network. That's a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't have to be your significant other. It's just that when someone has 20 years with somebody and that they have a story, like there are things to learn. And like what people don't know and what they'll be surprised is like, yo, where you're at is not where you came from. Like people come from many different backgrounds. Like the struggle is real. Like there's not just one road to this, but like we didn't even talk about Leah's business and her success. What y'all don't know is Leah is very successful and a wonderful business person. And like she mentioned that in her, obviously her like true like issue with trying to find that balance is the business versus personal. Mm-hmm. Like that's the forever battle.
Relation, like exactly that. Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, one thing that people should concentrate on too is that if they believe in manifestation, if they believe in imagination and believe in those things, then realize that all of your relationships should be written out too. Like what it is that you want with a partner in your life. Wow. Like, just as high as on your vision board, you got all of these plans and these deals.
Right.
Relationship at like that relationship that you desire, is it written on your vision board, Dana?
Right. Well, actually, the relationship side, I don't know if I have that, but I do have peace of mind up there. And I do have like, it's me reading the book, but it's peace of mind at the top and then meditation. So that's like peace within. That's on the vision board, but I don't have anything about my partner except for like they probably in the house. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's fucking hilarious. All right, look, I don't want to drag this on forever. I could be up here talking to you forever. You know that. I do thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for coming to the Danny Keith Show. Network your network. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say?
I said thank you for having me. It was fun.
Oh, of course.
I missed you, Dana Keith.
Look, you already know. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing, and this is fun because I'm gonna just literally be done with it, download it, and it's going up. You know what I'm saying on the audio joints. But if you had a message for my listeners, all right, I want you to speak about networking, okay? Because I think this might be my tip, like on every episode, or like my final question, is like, what tip or advice would you have about networking or your network?
Get out and away from your damn computer and go and meet people. Go and talk to people. You never know what kind of conversation is going to spark up. You never know what, if you just talk to people and what can happen in that conversation. So talk to people. You know, I make it a point that everywhere, like if I'm at the damn tanning salon and the girl's sitting there and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we just started a conversation. I'm like, hey, you know, yes, I do our photography, blah, blah. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's these sexy pictures. Here's my card. Do you know what I mean? Like, you never know what you can get out of a simple conversation. And the problem is, again, talking about, we're afraid to conversate. You know, we're behind these screens, we're behind these things right here, and we're afraid to get out there and have these relationships. So I would say build a network off a relationship. Yeah.
Love it, Leah. Love you, Leah Flores.
Love you, Dana Keith.
Man, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, everybody listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Danny Keith. This is my special guest, Leah Flores. This is the Network Your Network podcast, and we appreciate y'all. We see y'all next week. Peace. Okay.